Good evening, I'm Camden Cohn, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Just a little while ago, former Nebraska volleyball player Maggie Mendelson committed to Penn State to join former teammate Caroline Jurevicius in the Nittany Lions. They made it to the regional final this past year, while they fell to Wisconsin in 4 sets. The Herman Soccer Trophy is awarded to the top male and female collegiate soccer players in the country, and the winners are supposed to be announced later tonight. Nebraska soccer star Eleanor Dale is one of 3 players up for the award, as she led the country in scoring this past season. The announcement is scheduled to be made at 6:30 tonight, and a live stream is available. Visit the Huskers Soccer X account for the link. Late last night, the Nebraska women's basketball team defeated Wisconsin 69-57, thanks to 16 points from freshman Natalie Potts. Alexis Markowski added another double-double, as she had 13 points and 11 rebounds. The Huskers hit 9 three-pointers and outscored the Badgers 20-10 in the final quarter. The team will be back in action Sunday afternoon at Pinnacle Bank Arena against Indiana. And the Nebraska women's gymnastics season gets underway tonight as the Huskers visit Ames to take on Iowa State in the first duel of the season. The last time these two teams faced off was back in January of 2022. NU won 194.425 to 194.350. You can watch the duel on ESPN Plus at 6:30 tonight. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Now, get ready for a full 2 hours of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Huskers ball, high right side. Mast shoots up another 3. Got it! He's 3 for 3. Rink Mast.
She will reset with 12 on the shot clock. Once the screen gets her from Markowski to the right elbow. Back out top. Markowski will shoot a 3. You betcha! Ties the game. A 3-pointer by Markowski off the assist from Hayden.
Lawrence with the ball. Cross court, mid court to Tominaga. Shoots up a 30-footer. Got it! Bang! Bang! A ring! Tominaga with a 3.
Goes off the bounce. Goes behind her back. Works foul line. Potts for 3. Top of the key. You betcha! Natalie Potts, the Big Ten Freshman of the Week, with a triple.
Ball knocked free, out of bounds, saved by Alec, clips it into Boogie, down the floor. Here comes a dunk by Jawan, hammers it home with the right hand. The net gets caught up on the rim.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome in, everybody. Happy Friday. I'm Jessica Coody. Glad you're tuning in here on this Friday edition of Sports Nightly. Greg Sharpe is actually traveling back from Florida. He's been joining us via remote all week, but he is traveling back right now, so he will not be here. He will join us, though, for a segment, for our final pick segment of the season. So we will hear from him here in a little bit later this hour, but it's just me here for the first couple of segments. But we have a jam-packed show coming up for you here over the next couple of hours. Of course, just mentioned Greg and the picks coming up, and then Damon Benning will be here in hour number 2. We talk about anything and everything as we gear up for a very, very busy weekend here on campus. It's still pretty, I guess, tame, pretty quiet because the students aren't here yet, but there's been recruits on campus. We've got Husker wrestling, which, oh, by the way, we talked about this last night, but Nash Hutmaker, the polar bear, has made weight, and he will make his debut tomorrow for Husker wrestling. He was officially put on the Husker wrestling roster yesterday. So Damon and I dive into all of that. So we're going to talk a lot about that, and then also Husker hoops as well. And Jordan Hooper, one of the best players to ever wear a Husker uniform. I had a chance to chat with her and talk about her Husker career and what the honor means to her as she will be honored coming up on Sunday. It's PAC PBA Day, 1 o'clock, and the Nebraska women's basketball team, fresh off a big win last night, as you heard Camden talking about in the ticker. They'll take on Indiana, so that's a big matchup. Lots going on and lots to get to. So we got to kind of move things along quickly here in this first segment, but did want to kind of dive into the transfer portal news that Camden had in the ticker regarding Nebraska volleyball. Maggie Mendelson announcing that she will be joining Caroline Jurevicius at Penn State. You know, you knew that this Nebraska volleyball team was going to have to make some roster moves with everybody coming back and with the additions that they have coming in with Taylor Landfair and then the 2 freshmen that were coming in. But, you know, one of those, Sky Pierce, who was the MVP at the All-American game recently, by the way. But, you know, you knew that some moves were going to be made. But I guess maybe selfishly a little bit, you wish they would have gone out of conference, but hey, Big Ten is the best conference in the country, and certainly Big Ten, or certainly Penn State, has such history and tradition there. Caroline is the daughter of Joe Jurevicius, the NFL wide receiver, won a Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but he played his collegiate career at Penn State. And, I chatted with her about that when she first got here back in the summer when we were doing the newcomer interviews. And she kind of mentioned that Penn State certainly meant a lot to the family, but her heart was here. But I'm sure just looking for some more opportunities there. But she's got a lot of talent, tremendous upside. I know they were really excited with some of the things they saw with her in practice, but she'll head to Penn State and have 4 years of eligibility because she's coming off the redshirt year. And then Maggie deciding to hang up the basketball shoes for now. I'm just saying, I wouldn't be surprised if she came back and utilized a year of eligibility when she was done playing volleyball, maybe gets back to basketball, because I think you have 5 years to play. So anyways, if she does decide to maybe come back to basketball, be at the end of her career, but she's going to just play volleyball there at Penn State and join Caroline Jurevicius and have 2 years of eligibility. But not sure, roster moves. There's still some work to be done there with Nebraska volleyball, so we might still hear a little bit of few more of those moves. And Hayden Kubik also should mention, we did mention this last night, but she announced that she will be transferring to Tennessee. So that will be interesting to follow there. But also, big win last night as Camden had also in the ticker for Nebraska women's basketball. Wasn't necessarily pretty all 4 quarters, but to go on the road and pick up a win, it's a tough place to play. If you watched it on Big Ten last night, it wasn't a packed atmosphere by any means. But, you find a way to grind those out when you're on the road. And that's what Nebraska did. And now they are 3-0 for the first time, 3-0 to start conference play for the first time since the 2011-2012 season. And Natalie Potts, she is unbelievable. She's a beast. And she is putting together quite the case and campaign to maybe be in strong consideration for Big Ten Freshman of the Year. Certainly a long ways to go before they will announce those awards, but already she's been named Freshman of the Year multiple times and continues to impress and get better. And it's what impresses me too is as a freshman, she understands in the moment when she needs to take over, when she needs to make a big play, whatever that might be. And she has certainly sparked this team in some runs. But hey, congratulations to Amy Williams and crew, and they've got a big one coming up on Sunday, which we will talk more about here coming up in this next segment. Another interesting little tidbit that came out today is that Talia Tagovailoa has entered the transfer portal, the Maryland quarterback, but he's out of eligibility. But he had a conversation with Pete Thamel of ESPN and said that they have submitted a waiver to the NCAA for a 6-year of eligibility. So he's played 5 seasons, one of those a COVID year, but the waiver is going back and circling around the freshman year that he played at Alabama in 2019, where he played in 5 games, and that red shirt where you can maintain your red shirt is 4 games. But he played in 5 games, and against Duke he played 2 snaps, and against Mississippi State he played 2 snaps. So 4 snaps in 2 games, and so he's kind of pushing maybe to get one of those, to get that year back. But waiting on the NCAA on the ruling on that. It's Big Ten's all-time passing leader, 11,256 yards. So some interesting news there regarding a quarterback in the conference, and we will pay close attention to that. Nebraska does not play Maryland in 2024. All right, mentioned a lot to get to, some lengthy conversations, so let's get to it. We're working our first break here, but coming up next, we're going to hear from Jordan Hooper, one of the greatest to wear the Husker uniform. Big day coming up on Sunday. We're going to talk all about it. Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands and 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com.
I just remember leaving that day feeling absolutely exhausted. I was sick and tired of living that double life.
Mike is a former problem gambler.
The anxiety, the depression is real. You start thinking about the money, where that could have went to. It's never enough. I could win $10 million today, and I'd go back and try to win 20 tomorrow.
Help for problem gambling is free for Nebraskans and their families at lifeafterbet.com.
Don't miss out on limited time appliance deals during the closeout event at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $100 when you spend $999 or more on all major appliances. Hurry, these deals are too good to last long. Shop in-store or online today because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 1/4 through 1/24. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for details.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Maybe your hometown celebrates long-standing Swiss traditions. Cow chip throwing. Or even classic car muscle. Everyone has a hometown, and every hometown has a festival. Cenex wants to hear about yours. That's why we're launching the Hometown Throwdown. Tell us about your fest, and it could win $100,000. Learn more at CenexHometownThrowdown.com. Cenex, powered locally.
At your Ford dealer, making sure your Ford vehicle is running in tip-top shape is a big deal, and it just got a little bigger. Starting with the Works package. It includes a synthetic blend oil change, tire rotation, vehicle checkup, and more. Only your Ford dealer has factory-trained technicians and Ford parts, which makes it the best place to keep your vehicle or your next new Ford running at its best. Call to schedule service now or schedule with the Ford Pass app. They'll get you in and back on your way fast. Get the Works package and get ready to go.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
NDOT Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunny's at Exarban, and Row House Townhomes on Leavenworth. NDOT Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. NDOT Companies building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly, this Friday night edition. I'm Jessica Coody, and Coming up on Sunday, big day inside Pinnacle Bank Arena as Nebraska women's basketball will host Indiana, 1 o'clock. And it's a big day because it's a big matchup, but also because it's Alumni Day and they're honoring Jordan Hooper. They're going to raise her number 35 to the rafters, one of the greatest players in Nebraska women's basketball history. And her name is all over the record books. Recently, I got a chance to chat with Jordan and what all of it means to her, and starting with actually how she got the phone call that it all happened. Let's start with the phone call and your perspective of it, because we've heard Coach Williams tell it, and it was a pretty great story, but just, what your reaction was and the lead up to it and all of that.
Yeah, so Jeff Grease told me it was going to be a recruiting phone call. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do that. And so I was hanging Christmas lights, and I got the phone call, and she said, yeah, we're going to honor the 2013-2014 team, and then also we're going to hang your jersey. And yes, there was some cussing, there was lots of tears. It was just overwhelming joy. Like, I was so happy. So it was a really awesome phone call.
So when you first started playing basketball, would you have ever thought this day would come where your jersey would be hanging from the rafters of Pinnacle Bank Arena?
No, honestly, no. You start something because you love it. You start something because it's fun, or your friends are doing it, or your parents are like, yeah, let's go do this or something. And then it becomes something bigger than that. And then you can kind of start having those dreams and those goals, but those don't show up until, high school, college, all that stuff. And then you're like, yeah, this would be awesome. But even then, it's really hard even now to wrap my head around what's happening this weekend. So I'm just really excited, and what a huge honor. And it's awesome. I'm just really excited.
So I heard a great story about how you first got into basketball. I think you were doing the interview when you were back playing here about you were kind of seen at a graduation party, and then your mom dropped you off and you didn't even want to go play basketball. Take me back to that, how you first even got into basketball.
Yeah, well, I was a painfully shy kid, like excruciatingly painful. Like, didn't even talk to my uncles. It was awful. So socially awkward, and still not great, but better. But anyway, yeah. So my mom was like Coach Brew at the time, because that's who really discovered me and taught me basketball. Like, he knew exactly what he was doing when he found me and never ever saw me, I guess. And then he said to my mom, you need to bring her in to get a basketball in her hands. And my mom was like, yeah, sure. Like, she doesn't care. She's like, yeah, whatever, And I'm like, I'm not doing that. Because they were older than me by a year, because I was a third grader and they were fourth graders. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. That's terrifying. So she's like, well, you have to get out of the car because I have to go back to work. So she dropped me off, left me there. I went in. Everything was fine. Everything was great. But, it's just that awkwardly shyness. Like, it was so bad. I was like, what? And I didn't talk until high school to people, like, couldn't have conversations. So, from that to now is like it's huge. It's a huge step, obviously.
Oh, that's awesome. What a great story. So Alliance, Nebraska, and from that first time you got dropped off there in third grade to where you got to where you were being recruited by Nebraska, your home state school, what went into that journey to be able to get that offer from the Huskers?
Just a lot of hard work constantly. I wasn't sure if I wanted to be a Husker at that point. Like, when I began my recruiting process and people started reaching out, I didn't know obviously where you want to go. You're 16, 17, you have no clue. And then finally I literally had to sit down with myself and like, what do I want to do? Does it want to be like, is it volleyball? Is it basketball? Is it this school? Is it this school? So those were some tough conversations with myself, but I think I came to the perfect decision and I don't regret anything. And that process though is always hard. And I do tell people that are, going through it. The recruiting process is hard. And some of the phone calls I didn't handle the best with different schools and stuff. But like I said, I think I made the perfect decision. So I'm happy with it.
So you get here and immediately are able to contribute, but your team's had a lot of success too. Take me back to the team that's going to be honored this weekend, the Big Ten championship team, and that run, and what was so special about that team?
Yeah, that was awesome. I think we just had all the pieces. We just all clicked. We were all friends. We wanted the best for the person sitting next to us. We wanted the best for Coach Ori. We just wanted to succeed so much that I think we just sacrificed a lot that year in the best way, if that makes sense. Like, again, we just were all really great friends, and it showed. Like, the chemistry showed on the court, and like I said, we had all the right pieces at the right time, and it just all clicked together.
How did your game grow and develop from being just a shooter to being you're all over the record books in just about every statistical category, and the rebounder that you became? Was that a process for you once you got here? How did you tackle that part of it?
Yeah, in high school, I was kind of everything. I had to do a lot of stuff. I had to bring the ball up. I had to rebound, shoot, all that stuff. And so I think I was starting to grow into that as I'd gone to college. And then once I got to college, I was kind of like, well, you know, I knew my role, but I didn't, if that makes sense. Like, again, I was so young and just kind of thrust into a starting position that I wanted. Like, I truly wanted that, but I didn't really know how to handle it. And I didn't really know, I guess, what to do, when to do, you know, like you have to learn, and college is so much different than high school, and you have to take it in stride and just learn. And so I did that. And so then I grew, and that's when I was like more confident. So then when you're more confident, you do a lot more things on the floor. So you rebound and you actually play defense and, you know, like stuff like that. So I think it was just gaining confidence and having Coach Ori have confidence in me. My teammates had confidence in me, and I tried my best, and that was as much as I could do.
That's awesome. How did your time at Nebraska help set you up for what you did, getting drafted to the WNBA, but then playing your professional career?
Everything. I mean, the way that Coach Ori ran practices, the way that we were very time oriented, and everything made sense and organized, and you know, like having that foundation going into the professional circuit is just, it's huge, because you don't really, I mean, if you don't have it, you don't have it. You're going to have to learn it, and it's going to come whenever it's going to come, but it might come really slowly, and it might take you a while. But I'd already had that foundation, so I knew like how to be organized. I knew how to be time conscious. I knew how to have a work ethic, all that stuff. So I think, yeah, it laid the foundation for everything, honestly. Like, it was that in high school. And I mean, even my parents and stuff, like I worked on a ranch for my dad and everything. So I'm like, yeah, I have it instilled. I just have to, you know, use it. And so I think Nebraska I knew how to use it after I went to Nebraska. So that was good.
A fellow sheep shower, right? I showed sheep. You showed sheep,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Sheep and beef. And I did a little bit of photography, not much, but yeah, sheep are my favorite for sure.
Oh, very cool. Give us, if you can, this might be a tough question, but 2 or 3 of your favorite memories of that time when you were wearing that Husker uniform.
Yeah, that is tough. Obviously the Big Ten championship, huge. And I think the Sweet 16 run was really fun. And then it's not in a uniform, but just all of the bus rides, all of the plane rides, all of the dinners and stuff, like us just being ourselves and having fun and having those conversations. And like I said, we were all friends. So like just having friend stuff, you know, like that was my favorite memory too. Like the locker room stuff and the cold tub stuff, like all that stuff that you don't obviously get to see when you're not part of it. But that stuff, that lasts longer sometimes than games and records and all that stuff.
So I noticed you had commented with Alexis Markowski. She's coming after your double-double record, yours and Kelsey's. What's it been like watching her and another fellow Nebraskan and how her game has developed?
It's awesome. I mean, like I tweeted her and I was like, just keep going, but go get it, you know, go get those records. I mean, obviously that's a goal probably for her, and it should be, and that's amazing. And I'm rooting for her. And and her development has just been great. And I'm really excited to see where she ends up and what she does. I'm really, really excited to see that. So like I said, keep going, and super proud of her.
How much does it mean to you that you did inspire this generation and some of these players that are in this uniform now? And then to me, it's so cool to see now the next generation that are being inspired by Alexis and who you ask me who their favorite player is, but just, you know, how it just passes on from generation to generation, how you continue to inspire. I mean, how important is that? What does that mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, I've always said I want to inspire kids. I want to inspire kids, blah, blah, blah. You say it all the time. But sometimes you don't actually see it happening. And so to see her now in college doing spectacular, like doing all of the things that you're like, yeah, I want to inspire, blah, blah. No, like you never really see it sometimes. And so to see it and to have it be told, and it's just, I mean, I thought it would happen, but I never thought it would happen. It's kind of that weird, like, yeah, sure, whatever. But yeah, it's really awesome to finally see it happening and to see somebody be so great that used to look up to you. And again, like you said, like I felt it looking up to Kelsey. I felt it looking up to all the players that went there that were great. And you're like, yeah, whatever. Like, I know how I felt, but you don't put yourself in their shoes until, like now, like you're like, yeah, I guess I did do good things, which is really cool.
We're pushing to pack PBA on Sunday because obviously honoring you and the alumni and all of that, but then also it's a big matchup against Indiana. You played in front of some great crowds. This has been a fan base that has been in the top 20 for years and years and years. What did that kind of support mean to you then? How special is it to see it continues now?
I mean, yeah, I told this to a different person I was talking to. I said, our fans help you win games. And it's simple as that. Like if you have 10 or 12 people in the gym, it's really hard to win those games. You have to bring the energy yourself. And some days you just don't have it, but you see the crowd, you feel the crowd, you hear the crowd, and they just power you on to have that energy and have that drive to win games and stuff. And so, I mean, yeah, our fan base has been the best in every sport, which is just nuts. Like, even if we're terrible, we're going to show up, and like they did. Like we were terrible my freshman year. Like we weren't good. We were bad, and they still showed up, and they're like, yeah, like we still believe in you, and we want you to win. And I mean, yeah, it's great. And now, like after that, like I haven't been there in a while, like obviously I've been doing other things, but just because of my jersey being retired and people are reaching out again, and I'm like, oh yeah, like this is what it feels like, and it's weird to say that, but it's just awesome to have that support and that constant support. And I knew they were there, but until you like do something that they, physically see, they're sometimes unaware that you still exist, which I know that's not true, but this has been really awesome to get to reach out to people that I haven't spoken to in a really long time.
Great perspective. Hey, you mentioned that you weren't very good your freshman year. How did that tide start to change towards where the teams were when you left it?
Yeah, well, I think that year, obviously, they just lost 5 seniors and tried to replace them with 5 freshmen. And that's really tough to do at any level, at any sport. That's you lose leadership, and you have to bring in people that don't really know how to lead yet, and they don't really know what they're doing. And so we had leaders. We had great people on that team. It's just, I think we had too much young, blood to really do what we needed to do that year, which is, that's fine. You have to go through that, and you have to know what losing feels like to know that you don't want to do that again. And you have to know what winning feels like, but yeah, we changed the tide. I think just, again, we had experience. We got older. We knew what we were doing. We bought into Coach Ori's system. We bought into the culture that they were providing us. And I think it was just an all around, like I said, buy-in, and we just kind of committed, and we're like, well, we don't want that season again, because it really was not that fun.
Last thing I got for you, again, just it seems like you just have a great deal of appreciation for this place, and you're going to come back, and it's going to be a special weekend. What did it mean to you to wear Huskers across the chest to be able to represent the Inn?
It was awesome. I always tell this to people whenever they ask me about, college, or they ask me about the pros or whatever. I'm like, I would go back to college in a heartbeat. I would go back and do everything I did all over again, 10 times over. Like, it was so fun. It was hard. Like, it was probably one of the hardest things mentally and, physically and whatever, but you don't remember the hard things. Sometimes you do, but most of the time you remember, again, the relationships you built, the games, sometimes the good stuff. You remember all of the hard fought wins and the practices that went on forever. But then after that, like, you went to the training table and you got food together, and then you went home and I don't know. It was just those things that you remember, and I appreciate everything that Nebraska gave me and continues to do for me, and just all of it. Like, I truly am appreciative of my experience and the culture and the fan base and the coaches and Greesh and Coatney and all of it. I just appreciate everybody.
I said last thing, but I do have one more for you. Not very many people in any sport get to have their jersey retired, and it's just a very selective process. Just any men's, women's, no matter the sport. So you think about that, and just that you're one of very few that are going to get to, when people walk in every single day for a game, whether it's men's or women's or whatever that's going on, your jersey's going to be hanging up there. What does that mean to you? How does that reflect? How do you reflect upon that? Has it sunk in yet, I guess?
It's overwhelming in the best way possible. I looked up there every day. Like you said, when I went to practice, when we went to games, I would look up there and see Karen Jennings, Martise Ivy, Kelsey Griffin. And I'm just like, yeah, that's so awesome. And then you look over at the men, and I'm sorry, I don't remember the men because I was a woman, you look up to who you are and what you see and all that. So, but yeah, like you said, you walk in there every day, you look up there and you see them, and you go to different gyms, you look up there, you're like, well, who is it? And that's, it's just going to be so surreal to see it unveiled. And yeah, I don't think it's sunk in quite yet, all of it. I know it will when it's revealed. I know it will when I'm driving home. It's just, but it's, like I said, it's overwhelmingly just good emotions, all of it. All of it's going to be so fun. And I'm so excited to see my teammates and my coaches and everybody that's going to be there and talk to me. And I don't know, it's going to be super surreal even in the moment. But I think if I can just get through all of the hard stuff and just appreciate everything, then I think it'll sink in faster if I do that.
Oh, what a fun conversation. Can't wait for Sunday. It's going to be a great day. Such a fun day, fun matchup. A lot of special things going on. So Huskers.com/tickets. Let's pack PBA for Nebraska women's basketball as they take on Indiana. All right, we got to work in a break. But up next, we have our final pick segment of the year. And Greg Sharpe had to jump in, of course, because he had to rub it in my face how bad I did. But Greg Sharpe is back for this segment as we break down how we did last week. Not so well for me, but we also picked the national championship game. So keep it here on Sports Nightly.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
At your Ford dealer, making sure your Ford vehicle is running in tip-top shape is a big deal, and it just got a little bigger. Starting with the Works package. It includes a synthetic blend oil change, tire rotation, vehicle checkup, and more. Only your Ford dealer has factory-trained technicians and Ford parts, which makes it the best place to keep your vehicle or your next new Ford running at its best. Call to schedule service now or schedule with the Ford Pass app. They'll get you in and back on your way fast. Get the Works package and get ready to go.
That's the best way I could describe how it felt for me when I would walk out of either the casino or the Keno parlor, is that you just felt that wave of heat, that wave of oppression kind of hit you, that wave of dread.
Mike is a former problem gambler.
Right away, you would always know that drive home would be the worst moments of why. Why did I do this again? Why can't I stop this?
Help for problem gambling is free for Nebraskans and their families at lifeafterbet.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sap Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sap Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sap Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sap Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
At your Ford dealer, making sure your Ford vehicle is running in tip-top shape is a big deal, and it just got a little bigger. Starting with the Works package. It includes a synthetic blend oil change, tire rotation, vehicle checkup, and more. Only your Ford dealer has factory-trained technicians and Ford parts, which makes it the best place to keep your vehicle or your next new Ford running at its best. Call to schedule service now or schedule with the Ford Pass app. They'll get you in and back on your way fast. Get the Works package and get ready to go.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
There's no community like a Cenex community. And that's why every Cenex store is so proud to serve theirs by supporting local athletic teams, promoting the arts, and making sure each store is a place its neighbors can find what they need, catch up with their friends, and stay connected. It's also why we give back, helping to make the wonderful places we call home the best they can be. Your local Cenex doesn't just work in your town, it lives there. The store next door, powered locally at Cenex.
Welcome back. Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Jessica's kind enough to let me crash the Friday night party here to do one more pick, one more Choices Treatment Center Big Ten pick. We will pick the national championship game for Monday night. But before we do that, we love to go back and look at the games from last week's picks. So let's go back through this. Jessica, I know this could be kind of painful for you.
Yeah, I mean, I let you hop on, but I shouldn't have. I should have taken a break here during this segment. But yeah, I had a rough week. I wasn't locked in. I didn't finish on a high like you're supposed to, and I did not approach the week the right way, and it showed. It showed in my performance.
Well, I mean, you got to be locked in week in and week out. Coaches say you can't take any week for granted or any opponent for lightly, and so this is a lesson learned, a hard one, I think, at this point.
I opted out of the bowl game, Greg. I opted out.
That's classic. That is great. All right, Rutgers, Miami. Boy, the Scarlet Knights had themselves a heck of a year. Everybody but Jess picked the Scarlet Knights to win. She went with Miami, but Rutgers got it done, and so Rutgers finished off a really good year. We will see them next year in early October. They will be coming to Lincoln. That's going to be a challenge for Matt Rule and the Huskers. The Buckeyes of Ohio State, my goodness, the backup quarterback Brown gets hurt in the first quarter. They were just helpless offensively the rest of the night. Jeremiah and Cole, you both were believers in the Missouri Tigers. They get it done 14-3. So congratulations, Cole. There's a pattern, Cole, with these picks, but we'll get into that more. But congratulations, you got the Missouri pick right in the Cotton Bowl.
I appreciate it. And speaking of that pattern, I promise Jeremiah and I were not in cahoots. There was no collusion.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this. Penn State, Ole Miss. None of us picked Ole Miss. I'm surprised by that. We all were Nittany Lion believers, so we all missed that one. So for the team for the Chick-fil-A Bowl down in Atlanta. Auburn, Maryland. Man, we all got burned on this one. We all went with Auburn. What a nice way for Maryland to finish off the year. No Tonga Vailoa at quarterback, but their backup guys played really well. And Maryland really took advantage. They dominated that game. So there's back-to-back bowl games that none of us got right last week. Wisconsin, LSU. This was a New Year's Day bowl. Well, the Badgers played well and had the lead most of the way. The students thought the Badgers would win. Not a bad pick. LSU, though, rallied late and got the victory. So 4 of the 5 of us got that pick right. Tennessee,
Greg,
Iowa.
you could argue that was one of the better bowl games, right? I mean, it was highly entertaining. I was on the edge of my seat. It was a fun game to watch.
Mordecai played really well.
He
didn't
did. He really did.
Jeremiah didn't even let me get the name Tennessee out before he picked the Volunteers. We all did. What a thud of the year for Iowa to finish. They don't score in the Big Ten championship game against Michigan, and they don't score in this bowl game in the Citrus Bowl against Tennessee down here in Orlando, where I've been all week long. So the Brian Ferentz era is over. Probably a lot of Hawkeye fans glad that it is. They didn't score a point their last two
games.
Painful. We all got that one right.
That was so painful. I didn't watch. I mean, once I saw Tennessee go up, I'm like, I'm not watching this at all. And it's crazy because they would do the round, go to each of the sets with all of the analysts breaking down in between the halves and all throughout the day, and they just kept going back to how painful it was to watch the Iowa offense. And I'm like, yeah, we had to do that all year.
Yeah, it was. I mean, boy, it's really kind of embarrassing to not score a point in your last two games. That's pretty wild. All right, Michigan, Alabama, the first of the playoff games. We talked a little bit about this last night. Or 2 nights ago. What a terrific Rose Bowl. What a terrific game. Jess, you did have Alabama, and for a good chunk of the night, it looked like they were going to win. Michigan dug deep, got the late touchdown, and then win it in OT. But that was a heck of a football game. Great setting. That was really, if you love the sport, you loved watching that game.
Yeah, that one lived up to it. And, maybe just Michigan getting that experience of being there last year, J.J. McCarthy willing his team to victory. It just seemed like a team that was not going to be denied. And, you'd think that would have been Bama because of their experience there. But, tip the hat to Michigan. After getting embarrassed last year at that same scene, they were not going to let it happen to them twice.
The next day, there are so many national pundits that were talking about how Harbaugh outcoached Saban. That's way oversimplifying. That was a heck of a football game. Again, Bama had the lead late, couldn't hang on. I do think Michigan's the better team. I think they are better than Alabama, but not by much. It was just a really good game. And then we go to the Sugar Bowl. Jess, you and I were believers in the Longhorns, and boy, they darn near came back and got it. And I know every Husker fan, when they put one more second back on the clock at the end, go, here it is. They're going to win on the last play of the game. They didn't. I'm not sad that I missed that pick because I would rather have Washington in the title game than Texas, but we both got that wrong. And the trend of Jeremiah and Cole being symbiotic was there again. They both had that picked right. So, Cole, congratulations. You got it right.
Thank you very much.
The Sun Bowl, Notre Dame, Oregon State. Jess was out on the limb. She thought she was following the Beaver bandwagon. Jeremiah quickly got you straightened out on that, though. He says they have nobody. DJ Dudu was gone, and that was not much of a game. Notre Dame finished with a nice uplifting win. Notre Dame gets the victory, and so Jeremiah, Cole, the students, and I all got that one right. And then we'll wrap it up with the Alamo Bowl. Jess, you guys nailed this. You, Jeremiah, and then since Jeremiah got it right, it means Cole got it right. You all picked Arizona. You knew it. You knew Oklahoma was in trouble. I crashed and burned with that pick.
Yeah, they had so many guys that they were without, and then the freshman quarterback looked like a freshman at times. There were some flashes, but then there were some not so good flashes. But I think with Arizona and them coming back, and a lot of times in those games, if you're a team at the beginning of the season that have a certain goal and then you don't end up there and you're in a bowl maybe not as desirable as what you set out to do, you can have a little bit of a setback. And so I think for Arizona, it was a huge opportunity and they were excited to be there. And maybe for Oklahoma, it was a little bit, hey, this is where we want to be. We're just kind of here to play. But Arizona, I obviously was not very smart with the Pac-12 all season long. They bit me in the rear end week in and week out. And I was not a believer in Arizona until the very end. They finally convinced me. Cole and Searles were believers in them for a while, but it took me till the end to believe in them.
That's a good football team, and they'll be a nice addition to the Big 12. That is a good program that has found their footing out in the desert. So that wraps up the week. And the twins, Cole and Jeremiah, a remarkable 8-2. 8-2 for those guys.
Impressive.
The students, and myself went 5-5. Jess, I'm sad to report you went 3-7 last week.
Wow,
so
that's
here,
bad.
Whew. So here are the standings. I have clinched the championship for the year. I will grab the crown when I'm back in Lincoln next week. 127-49, 7 games ahead of the big dog, who's 120-56. Jessica, you and the students tied for third at 117-59. Cole, with your 8-2, you put some pressure on the students and Jess, but didn't quite catch them. 115-61. And so the final standings will not change at all once we pick the national championship game. So now let's get into our Choices Treatment Center Big Ten predictions. Jessica, last week you were mad that I always started with you, so I'll go first on this one. Washington and Michigan on Monday night. I may surprise you on this one. I've loved Michigan all year long. I felt like along the line of scrimmages, they were the best team in the country. I still believe that. But Washington's got those outside guys that Penix can use. I think their defense is good enough to slow Michigan down. Give me the Huskies Monday night to claim a national championship. I love Michael Penix. I think he's a terrific player. I think he will lead them to a national title.
No surprise, I got Searle's pick. He's going with Michigan, and I'm going to go. I said I was going to go whichever way he didn't go, but I'm actually with you. I was leaning towards Washington either way. I can't believe Michael Penix is not higher on draft boards. I mean, and with the weapons that he has, it's just, gosh, and then the defense even, they locked down when they needed to, but it's hard to match up against that. And so I think I'm going to go with the Washington Huskies on this one. I'm going to go against Searles, and because he's got Michigan, of course.
Well, I probably don't even need to ask Cole. I'm sure it's going to be Michigan.
I've gone with Washington for many games this year, and they've treated me well, but Michigan has an incredible team. Aside from and all the storylines this year with their scandals, suspensions, all that, I think it's Michigan's year to win it. I've got to take the Wolverines.
Love it. And the students agree with you and Jeremiah. I like this. I like that there's 3 on one side, 2 on the other. I think it's going to be a tremendous game. I know the Wolverines are favored by 4.5 on Monday night. It should be a heck of a college football game. Cannot wait for that game to kick off.
Let's
so,
just
folks,
get a
that
good
is
one.
it. That
just
wraps
make it
up
a good one, please, because
yes, right.
Let's cap it off. Let's have a great one. There's been some good. There has been some down years and maybe some, but let's just go out with a bang here. Give us a good show.
I don't know if you have them in front of you. If you don't, maybe you can do this in the next segment. If you've got the chat room's picks and their results from last week. So
yes, we will get that done.
Okay, yeah, because those guys, they like for us to air their picks. So
we will name the champion of the chat coming up after this segment, after this break.
That's a great tease for the next thing. So that's it and again, thanks to Choices Treatment Center for sponsoring this segment. We've had a blast with this all season long. If you or someone you love has a problem with gambling, give them a call, 402-476-2300. All right, I'm going to step out. Traveling back from Orlando tonight. I'll be back in studio with Jess on Monday. Have a great weekend. Jess, have a great rest of your show.
Thanks, Greg.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. From the first bell to final exams, they are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. Throughout the year, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska and Nebraska Athletics will be honoring outstanding educators who help Nebraska's students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/teachers.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Hey, Mom. Yeah, I got in a crash. I'm okay. I was wearing my seatbelt.
People count on you to buckle up. Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Final segment here of hour number one. And as promised, we have the winners of the chat champion to announce of our season-long picks. They played along all season long and picked their games along with us. So we announce their winners each week. So we have to crown the champion of the chat. I don't think if we ever decided what the prize would be if they won, but we might have to follow up on that and see what we got to do on that. But congratulations to Dryce. He is the Huskers Radio Network chat champion. He had he was overall 112 and 50, and had a 2-game lead over Joseph, who finished in second. Crypto King finished in third, and Andy in fourth. He made a comeback because I think he had a couple bad weeks there. He was kind of dragging along behind there, so he made a push to finish in fourth. But congratulations again to Dryce, and we appreciate those guys playing along all season long. We had a lot of fun with that. And listen, I was you could call me one of those players, Cole, that if I'm not playing for first, I'm really out of it. So I just had a bad finish. But hey, I'm coming back for that crown next year. It lit a fire under me. I'm coming back for it.
Greg really did run away with it by about week 4, didn't he?
Yeah. He did. It was kind of not even fun anymore because he was so far ahead. But no, it was fun nonetheless. So, all right, again, we'll see how we all do in the championship game, but we're pretty split there. But hopefully, at least, it's just a great matchup. Coming up, hour number 2, Damon Benning going to stop by. We got lots to get into with him, so you'll want to stick around for that. And as always, if you want to be a part of the show with a text, 402-413-2400 on our Woodhouse Auto Family hotline. Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands and 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. All right, Damon Benning coming up right after, I guess in a little bit into hour number 2. We got a couple things to get to when we come out on the other side of this break, so keep it here. Lots to get to here in Sports Nightly on this Friday night edition.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option. It's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option. It's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside-Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Good evening. I'm Camden Cohn, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Earlier this afternoon, former Nebraska volleyball player Maggie Mendelson committed to Penn State to join former teammate Caroline Juravicius and the Nittany Lions. They made it to the regional final this past year, where they fell to Wisconsin in 4 sets. Late last night, the Nebraska women's basketball team defeated Wisconsin 69-57, thanks to 16 points from freshman Natalie Potts. Alexis Markowski added another double-double as she had 13 points and 11 rebounds. The Huskers hit 9 three-pointers and outscored the Badgers 20-10 in the final quarter. The team will be back in action Sunday afternoon at Pinnacle Bank Arena against Indiana. The Nebraska women's gymnastics season gets underway tonight as the Huskers visit Ames to take on Iowa State in the first duel of the season. The Cyclones hold a slim lead over the Huskers after rotation 1. You can watch the duel on ESPN Plus right now. And then one men's basketball game in the Big Ten to keep an eye on tonight as 9th-ranked Illinois visits number 1 Purdue at 7:30 at Mackey Arena. That game can be watched on FS1. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Hour 2 of Sports Nightly up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Huskers ball, high right side. Mast shoots up another 3. Got it! He's 3 for 3. Rink Mast.
She will reset with 12 on the shot clock. Wants a screen, gets it from Markowski. To the right elbow, back out top. Markowski will shoot a 3. You betcha! Ties the game! A 3-pointer by Markowski off the assist from Haight.
Lawrence with the ball. Cross court, midcourt to Tominaga. Shoots up a 30-footer. Got it! Bang! Bang! A ring! Tominaga with a 3.
Goes off the bounce, goes behind her back, works foul line. Potts for 3, top of the key. You betcha! Natalie Potts, the Big Ten Freshman of the Week with a triple.
Ball knocked free, out of bounds, saved by Alec, clips it into Boogie, down the floor. Here comes a dunk by Jawan, hammers it home with the right hand. The net gets caught up on the rim.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
And welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Hour number 2 of Sports Nightly. When I was telling you guys what we had coming up on the show in hour number 1, I made a huge mistake of not mentioning that we do have a big segment, a fan favorite, Cole's Joke of the Week, coming up here in the final segment tonight. We usually do it on Thursdays, but it was a short show last night. Greg was out. So I just told him, hey, we got to do it on Friday. It's been a minute since I've heard a joke. We got to have a good laugh here to close out the week. So Cole's Joke of the Week coming up at the end of the hour. Cole, are you ready? Oh, you're not near Mike. All right.
It's going to be good.
It's going to be good?
It's going to be good, I
All
think.
right, feel good about it.
Camden gave me the okay on it.
All right. Well, typically when you get the okay from your students, you do better. So, yes. So stay tuned for that. We'll look forward to that coming up. Damon Benning also going to join us here in just a few minutes. We had mentioned this. We talked about it a little bit last night and then tonight, but the Herman Trophy, which is given annually to the nation's best player in collegiate soccer. So basically the Heisman of college soccer. And Nebraska's Eleanor Dale was a finalist for the award. She's one of 3 finalists. Thought for sure she was a shoo-in to win it, being that she led the nation with 28 goals, and Nebraska made it to the Elite 8, but she did not win it. It went to Florida State's Onyi Echegini. I hope I said that right. But Florida State was the national champion, and she was the ACC Conference Offensive Player of the Year, undefeated season, 6 national championship, 16 goals, 5 assists. So compared to the 28 goals from Eleanor Dale. But nonetheless, congratulations to Eleanor Dale, an incredible season. And she's going to be hard to beat for the Nebraska Women's Athlete of the Year overall in all sports that Greg and I are on that committee for later on in the season. But just an incredible year, an incredible season for Nebraska soccer. And they've got a lot of that talent coming back. So a great season to build off of for them. Another thing I wanted to make sure and mention in case we didn't have time later on the show, but the Army All-American game is tomorrow. So the high school All-American game Saturday at noon. So tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central, noon Eastern time. So on NBC, 11 a.m. NBC inside the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. And there's quite a few Husker representatives, or there's 3 Husker representatives. All will be playing on the West team. Tight end Carter Nelson, a couple of offensive linemen in Grant Bricks and Gibson Pyle. And just kind of reading up, following along on social media with some of the media that's down there covering it. Seems like Gibson Pyle is catching some attention and impressing with his performance down there. Of course, they have practices throughout the week leading up to the game, so it sounds like he's doing a great job down there. But it'll be fun. It's always fun when you got some representatives from the guys that you got coming in from the signing class that are going to be playing on this stage. So congratulations to them. We'll look forward to seeing that 11 a.m. again tomorrow on NBC. I still have a ton to get to. Damon and I talked a lot about a lot of different things, so we're going to work in our first break here, so we have plenty of time for that. Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands and 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Damon Benning coming up after this.
I just remember leaving that day feeling absolutely exhausted. I was sick and tired of living that double life.
Mike is a former problem gambler.
The anxiety, the depression is real. You start thinking about the money, where that could have went to. It's never enough. I could win $10 million today, and I'd go back and try to win 20 tomorrow.
Help for problem gambling is free for Nebraskans and their families at lifeafterbet.com.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Woodhouse has got you covered for your next car, truck, or SUV. We are committed to making the car buying and owning experience better, thanks to our knowledgeable sales staff and factory certified technicians. You can discover our large inventory of new and pre-owned vehicles anytime at woodhouse.com, where we have made buying a car easier than ever. Whether you need a family hauling SUV, a car to take you around town, or a hard-working truck, Woodhouse has something for everyone.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Did I forget something?
No, just wanted to tell you I love you. Oh, don't forget to buckle up. Drive safe.
I will. Love you too.
Someone is counting on you to buckle up. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside-Exarban, and Row House Townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Start your next journey with Woodhouse. Our commitment extends beyond just selling cars. We offer an unparalleled car buying experience that allows you to shop and buy all online. Explore an array of new brands, makes, and models, as well as our large selection of pre-owned vehicles. And it's easy to get started today with our streamlined purchasing process online, granting you the freedom to secure your next vehicle anytime, anywhere. Discover a better way to buy with Woodhouse.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. As we welcome you back to Sports Nightly, look who is in studio. Couldn't stay away. Damon Benning, our good friend Damon Benning. You made your way down, and you missed Cole too much. You had to come see Cole.
That's what it is. I do like reminiscing with old Coleo. He's hilarious. I asked him if he missed my sense of humor. He said yes, but I think he was just being nice.
Well, that's just how Cole is. Like
easy breezy.
Yeah. You call him Coleo.
Yeah, I do, because I don't know why. But his personality, he strikes me as a guy, and I don't know if this is healthy, I just know it's lower than mine. Like, his blood pressure's got to be, like, perfect, like 101 over, like, 77. He's probably, like, 44 beats a minute. Like, he's just...
So that's what you want in the heat of as a producer, right?
It is.
Or a live game producer.
And like you hear all the time with me and G Sharpe, just, like, manipulating minutes and time and breaks, it's like... It's way above my pay grade.
You know, I've thought about this too. I mean, how many good conversations and interactions are not on the air, but in the commercial breaks?
They're hilarious.
Like, probably wouldn't want to stream that live for people to hear, but it's pretty fascinating.
It is. That's why I'm glad we get along.
All right. Well, Happy New Year. Have a good Christmas. All of the above.
Yeah, it was quiet. It was really quiet. A lot of sickness is in the air, so I stay. I stay out of the fray. At least I try to.
Well, it has not been quiet this week here in the stadium, just because they've had some recruits in. We always joke they have the music blaring, all the highlights on all the video boards, the stadium's lit up red, and all that good stuff. You know, I guess when you're talking about bringing some of these guys in that they have this week, what are the priorities? What are they really hoping to maybe land with some of these guys?
Yeah, I think for sure you're looking at that wide receiver spot. You got to tandem in, and you're just looking for maybe. Like personally, like if you said, "Hey, DB, you know, what do you think about the wide receiver room?" I'd say, you know, JC, I think their potential is really, really high.
Yeah.
Like, I like the talent. I really like the depth. You know, I'm high on Demetrius Bell. You know, I love Lloyd. Like, those guys are legit. I think they're as good as they have the potential to be as good as almost anybody that they saw last year by the time their career is done. But if you said, you know, would you like a veteran? A veteran number one? Sure, I would take a veteran number one wide receiver. They haven't had one in a while, and I think, you know, even Trey Palmer kind of morphed into one. You know, because the revisionist history will tell you, man, TP was pegged from day one, but he had his fair share of skeptics, right? He had never been a legit number one, hadn't even been a two, and turned into a number one. And, you know, Teray took a little bit of time, and so you're looking for somebody like that to have impact. You know, they don't have to be a Sunday guy, but to have the impact of like a Samari Toure or a Trey Palmer would be fantastic.
So, you know, I think you were on right after signing day, right? But in terms of just the transfer portal and as crazy as it is, and every other place but here, and we've seen a couple other guys that have announced they're coming back. What do you make of that? That, you know, as much as there's a mass exodus, seems like everywhere else, all the key guys, especially here, a lot of those guys that played a lot of big roles are back or coming back.
Yeah, it actually warms my heart. You know, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of kind of the family atmosphere and making this a tough place to want to leave. right? Like, I think that's the undersold portion of the discussion. You make it so it's hard to leave. It's such a good place. I'm part of a stretch where so many guys that weren't from here ended up staying here, living here, working here. And I think a lot of it has to do with how the campus and the university made the guys feel. And I think that's what they're after. When you look at kind of the last finishing touches that Coach Rule and the new staff got to put on in the facility and kind of put their fingerprints on it, what Trev Alberts has tried to do with his administrative team and the athletic department and the way it looks and the way it operates. Like, it's all about family. You don't get guys like Ty Robb. You just don't get those guys to say, hey, you know what? I'd like to stick around and do more. We have more left. And let's not make it seem like he doesn't have options, or they don't have options. They do. It's just a very, very tough place to leave, because I think it's hard to get adults that care about you, that have your best interests at heart.
So they signed, obviously, a great recruiting class, and then with the guys that are coming back, the numbers and getting to that where you're supposed to be there. How does that look for Coach Rule, and how is he going to go about that?
Well, I think they're going to continue to kind of shuffle and maneuver it. In this day and age of NIL scholarships and things like that, we may never know like the true numbers, scholarship, non-scholarship. They could get a little dicey there in terms of how they do the math, but I think it'll sort itself out. I really do. I think as winter conditioning picks up here in the next couple of weeks, spring ball, we're already fast forwarding to like April, and that's sad. But guys will figure out what their role is, whether they have a future here. I truly believe that the numbers will sort themselves out. I'm not one of those guys that worry too much, but you were talking about the transfer portal earlier with guys like Dowdell coming in from Oregon. Like, he understands math, right? I mean, we understand math. We look at that running back room. It looks like it may be a little bit thin. He's kind of an established guy. Like, so there's specific places where I think you can insert a guy. But overall, I think Coach Rule and his staff have been who they said they wanted to be. They want to develop 90% of the in-house and see what happens left. But then you look at the roster, and they've got like 80-some new additions in 13 months, and it's like, whoa.
Well, I want to talk about more than just football with you, and we got to start with wrestling. You're a wrestling guy, big fan of Mark Manning and this wrestling program.
100%.
The big news that has unfolded throughout this week, though, is that where you very well could see the polar bear, Nash Hupmaker, wrestling at heavyweight for this top 10 program tomorrow inside the Devaney. How exciting is that for you to see the polar bear kind of getting back out there in the singlet?
It's exciting enough for me to get back on the interstate in about 17 hours, but I'm pumped. So here's the cool story is when he first decided just how supportive the coaches were. Tony White being on board, and I remember vividly, he had just, this was after the whole the new contract and the USC scuttlebutt and all that other stuff that was going on. He was at Westside the very next day. And we talked that morning before everybody else got going, and I just kind of asked him how he'd been outside of the rumor mill and the job thing. And it just gave him a chance to talk about the guys coming back. And he said, you know what I'm most excited about? And I guessed everything but what his answer was. He said he was the most excited to go with Coach Knighton and support Nash, who they gave their blessing to go wrestle. And I said, no, that's cool. Like, you want to support your guys? And he said, no, I want to see him make weight. we just want to see him get to, and at that point, he said he was weighing in like the 230s. The target was 290. We see him listed
330s, right? Not 230s.
Yeah, 330s. I'm sorry.
330s, yeah.
And I saw him listed yesterday in the 285-pound, like where you have to be for heavyweights. That was the most exciting thing for Coach White. And I'm like, now that's a guy that really enjoys young people, because 285 is probably too small to play for him. It's 50 some odd pounds different than how he was walking around the day he told me, but just his level of excitement to see Nash meet a new challenge, and all the guys rally to support. And you'll go to the Devaney tomorrow, and you'll see, I don't know, I'm going to guess 80-90% of that D-line, the football team,
Yeah.
they just want to see Nash at that weight function. It's pretty exciting.
Well, and, even dating back to last year, Coach Roll, this staff, they were big supporters of this wrestling program anyways. They were.
Yeah, they invited Coach Manning, my guy.
Yeah,
right?
so there's a cool relationship there anyways, but now to share a guy, and that was Nash's first love. He was a dominant. He didn't get beat, and he could have been probably a 4-time All-American had he chosen that, but I talked to him this season on the Cornhusker Conversation, and he said, I just felt like I had more of a ceiling, like ceiling of what I could do with football, but it's funny, I was telling you the story when I had Ridge Levitt in here, and he's saying, yeah, we got a football player that's in the wrestling room, and it just happened that week. And he goes, yeah, he's a heavyweight. And I said, Nash? And then he said, yeah, boy, when he got out there the first time for 10 seconds, he was pretty unbeatable, but that conditioning is going to be what's kind of watch for this. But I just think it's such a neat storyline, and for him to get to go back to that and get to experience that and what his first love is, and maybe do both. And all these guys that I've talked to that have done both have said how big of a role that wrestling played in them becoming the football players that they became.
I need to be picking your brain. Like, how cool is it that you get, like, I love wrestling, and that kind of happened by accident, right? Like, we were talking one day, and we were going to do something for Sports Nightly, and you had, like, these interviews that you were doing. I was like, you like wrestling? And we got to talking about wrestling. You get all these cool stories, guys that have done, religious experiences. They visited other parts of the world. They come back here and wrestle. You're like all in. You get a chance to talk to guys like Ridge Levitt. Like, this team this is a really, really, really good team. Now, yeah, do they need some help at heavyweight? Sure, but like top to bottom, the way that they've recruited, you get to be like neck deep in wrestling. That's got to be pretty fantastic.
They're great people, and it's a great team.
They're
great
cool
wrestlers. And
you get like good stories.
Yeah, and Coach Manning has been excited just about what this team could do. But they are. It's a fun group to be around. It's a fun group to get to know. But going back, okay, let's circle back then to Nash. If he had to be at a certain weight, 285, right, to wrestle heavyweight. Ideally, what weight should he be playing football at? It would be his best weight to play football.
That's an amazing question. It really is. And it's the first time, when you asked me off air, I'm like, I don't know. Like, we should probably talk about that. And I didn't know if you were going to come back to it. But it is an amazing question because for a couple of years, take Nash out of it, I felt like Nebraska, so probably 20 and 21, so 19, 20, 21, even including the COVID year, I felt like Nebraska up front was a little heavy, right? Like, I did some numbers. I think this was 2022. I kind of crunched the average starting O-line, D-lines in the Big Ten, and Nebraska per side of the ball was about 9 pounds heavier. And I think it was a little more defensively, maybe 12 or 13 pounds heavier than the average starting D-lines in the conference. But I kind of understood where those numbers came from, JC, because, Nebraska wanted to be a little bit more stout. And I think the previous staff was a little traumatized about not having Big Ten-type bodies, and they wanted to get bigger. And then I think there was a point where they kind of got too big. So then when we saw these guys last year, the Jamari Butlers and Blaze Gunnerson and Nash Hutmaker. Remember when we saw Nash? We're like, is he the same person? Like Ty Robinson, just these smaller, leaner versions. Nash that answer for the poundage should be easy, but he was so big, but he was so good.
Yeah.
We would talk during the broadcast, right? You're always in O-line, D-line huddles, and I'm like, his ability to like play at 45-degree angles now. He's a lot twitchier. He's quick. He can play at angles, and he was still a big guy. So, is it 315? Is it 310? He was awfully good at 330, which doesn't even sound right. So I don't know, but like he can be too small. So I do know that you have to play a specific kind of defense to be. I've never seen really anybody flourish as like a 285-pounder along the D-line outside of like Jason Peter. Jason Peter was the greatest small defensive lineman I have ever seen. I don't know. I mean, the numbers will get a little crazy in terms of revision. I don't know if he legitimately was ever bigger than 285. And he could take on doubles, but, we gapped guys out. So he could hit it and split it and play behind the line of scrimmage. Nash has got to hold up, kind of occupy. So you want some size there. But he was so magnificent, big. Could he be even better, a little smaller? Probably. But I would trust Coach Knighton and Coach Corey Campbell in the weight room. Like, those guys, they're so good with body types. But that is an amazing question. I'm going to hang on to that until that season starts, because if Nash was as good as he was at 335, arguably the most improved on the O-line, D-line, maybe on the team, right?
Yeah.
Be curious to see do they mess with success or do they get even better? That I'm going to guess 315.
And it won't be a problem, though, for him to go from 385 to 315, right?
No.
Yeah, that won't be
It's
unrealistic for him to put that back on.
It's funny you say that. Smarty. Coach White said, the first 20, 25 pounds will be no problem.
Yeah.
It will be
Beyond
what comes
that, yeah.
after that will be tough. So I think you're spot on.
All right, well, let's work in a break here. Got one more segment here with DB. Got some hoops talk we want to get into, so stick around here. And Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands and 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com.
Don't miss out on limited time appliance deals during the closeout event at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $100 when you spend $999 or more on all major appliances. Hurry, these deals are too good to last long. Shop in-store or online today, because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 1/4 through 1/24. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for details.
At your Ford dealer, making sure your Ford vehicle is running in tip-top shape is a big deal, and it just got a little bigger, starting with the Works package. It includes a synthetic blend oil change, tire rotation, vehicle checkup, and more. Only your Ford dealer has factory-trained technicians and Ford parts, which makes it the best place to keep your vehicle or your next new Ford running at its best. Call to schedule service now or schedule with the Ford Pass app. They'll get you in and back on your way fast. Get the Works package and get ready to go.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Woodhouse has got you covered for your next car, truck, or SUV. We are committed to making the car buying and owning experience better, thanks to our knowledgeable sales staff and factory certified technicians. You can discover our large inventory of new and pre-owned vehicles anytime at woodhouse.com, where we have made buying a car easier than ever. Whether you need a family hauling SUV, a car to take you around town, or a hard-working truck, Woodhouse has something for everyone.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. From the first bell to final exams, they are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. Throughout the year, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska and Nebraska Athletics will be honoring outstanding educators who help Nebraska's students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/teachers.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy, from repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. the official foundation company of the Huskers.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
Maybe your hometown celebrates long-standing Swiss traditions. Cow chip throwing. Or even classic car muscle. Everyone has a hometown, and every hometown has a festival. Cenex wants to hear about yours. That's why we're launching the Hometown Throwdown. Tell us about your fest, and it could win $100,000. Learn more at CenexHometownThrowdown.com. Cenex, powered locally.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. As we welcome you back to Sports Nightly on this Friday evening, I'm Jessica Coody, and joined by our good friend Damon Benning, who not only was gracious enough to drive down and come in studio, but he also brought me some high chews. I am pumped about that. I just got to hide them from Cole.
Team high chews. I know. I felt bad after I kind of told him the story, because now I've got to take care of him too.
Hey, I will share. I will share with Cole.
I noticed the jars are empty.
Yes.
I'm back on it.
Okay. Well, we got to get those filled by the next time we come down. Which, by the way, Greg is going to be out in a couple weeks going to visit his daughter. So you're going to fill in. You're going to step in and help me out a couple shows, right?
Yeah, so I'm the 16th and the 19th, right?
Yes, I think so. I think that's right. So in a couple weeks, you'll be back in studio, and you'll do the full 2 hours.
Yeah, so the 19th is cool because we're here for our official visit.
Oh, nice.
Backwards order. We say yes, and then we take the official.
That's signing day, and then...
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, we were here so much.
Yeah, and he got to come and be on the sideline.
Yeah, so it was like, so... On the 19th, it's you, me, and Dupree.
All right, that'll be fun. Okay, let's talk hoops and men's basketball coming off the big win over Indiana. What has been your take? How much fun has it been to watch this Fred Hoiberg team this season?
Well, fantastic. I just saw Coach Hoiberg and Coach Nate. They were in Omaha. They were up at the Metro Holiday tournaments in attendance and got a chance to see them. And yeah, they're a really, really good example. Them and Coach Bolt going from one year to another about what chemistry really means to a team. Mm-hmm. We kind of undersell it, and then when we talk about it, we kind of give it the eye roll. But
it's vital.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
The teams
right?
that go on to win have the best chemistry in every sport.
And yet we kind of poo-poo it oh, here they go again talking about chemistry. And you're like, that's real. Mm-hmm. This team is actually a team. I think they enjoy playing with each other. I think the coaching staff feels, and this is, again, I want to stay in the moment. This is not to say that compared to another year it was not this. I'm staying in the moment with this team. This team was put together in such a way where you've got a lot of unselfish guys who know their role.
Yeah.
And some of these guys, rink mass, where the portal for Coach Hoiberg, what he did with Mass served a specific purpose. Not only did he get a highly skilled, polished guy, he got a guy that was going to fit.
Yeah.
With what he was trying to do in the locker room as well. You look at Miller, just the parts of the guys that they have. It's kind of freed Casey up to. I mean, if he's got a bad night or he's not shooting it well, he got off to a slow start, right? He wasn't the Tominaga that we were used to seeing in Nebraska. Didn't really skip a beat. So they have been exciting to watch. Now, the one thing I do worry about is Man, they have played in the friendly confines an awful lot. I think 2 or 3 true road games.
It's about to start.
11 out of the first 14, right?
Well, 3 of their next 4 games are on the road.
Now they're going to hit the road, and so we'll see as they kind of get their mettle tested, starting with kind of a tough place to play in Madison. Wisconsin's a team I can't really figure out.
Yeah.
But we'll see. It's never been an easy place to play, so I think we'll learn a lot more about the men's basketball team. But they handled their business for the most part in the non-con. They laid the egg against Creighton, but I think they balanced that out by getting a win against Michigan State, which I think surprised some people. I'm still trying to figure out who Michigan State is. It's probably not a team that I want to play in the, after Valentine's Day.
Right.
But they took care of business when they had to. So, that's college sports, right? Win the games. I'm not even going to say that you should, right? But you got to get that one.
And get the teams when they're not playing as good.
Right.
Take care of business.
Capitalize is, I think, the word that I'm looking for. So I'm looking forward to watching men's basketball.
I was talking to one of the members of the staff, and I asked him outside of Purdue, which team in the Big Ten scares you the most? And he did say Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So they are. I mean, that's a tough place to play. So here we go.
The fans show up. The fans show up, and Chucky Hepburn is fantastic, and they've got a good nucleus. Their front court is athletic. It's a good matchup for a team like Nebraska that can switch a lot of things out front. They've got an athletic front line as well, so it's going to be a good matchup for Nebraska.
Okay, now let's talk some women's hoops, because I did want to get your take on this. So we're packing PBA, right? It's the they want to pack PBA for Jordan Hooper. They're going to raise her jersey to the rafters and then honor that team that she's a part of that won the Big Ten tournament title. But it's also a big matchup with Indiana, and Indiana is one of the best teams in the league. But it's funny because we go back to this game a year ago, and it was they wanted to sell out PBA, and it was against Iowa, and so all those Iowa fans were like, "Oh, well, you did it because it was Caitlin Clark."
Yeah.
So now here's an opportunity that everybody's saying it's the Caitlin Clark effect, and that. But it kind of irks me a little bit. I respect the heck out of Caitlin Clark and what she's done for the game and how many eyeballs she's brought. But for those people outside of here, don't act like this fan base doesn't support the women's programs, whether Caitlin Clark is here or not.
1,000. Right? That is beautifully said. Yeah, right. 2 things can be true at once, right? Caitlin Clark is a phenom. She's going to get eyeballs. She's the best that the game has to offer. But let's not discredit what Nebraska's fan base has done with this women's program, too. And I would venture to say, I don't know what your expectations were. Courtney and I talked early about what we thought of this team. I actually think they're probably a little better than I thought.
Yeah.
When the season started, if I'm being completely honest.
The loss of Allison Widener, I think, had us all a little bit.
Right? We were kind of...
Yeah.
But the youngins have really stepped up. And Jazz Shelley, she was in Omaha the other night, too, at Metro Holiday tournaments. But she's one of those, I don't know if you're a comic books fan, but they're like these reluctant superheroes like Daredevil and kind of these guys that are in these roles, and it's not really what they want to be. They just kind of are. That's kind of how I look at Jazz Shelley, like the reluctant superstar. She's highly rated. People forget how highly rated. She's 4. Some had her as a 5-star coming out of high school. Extremely talented, highly touted, but she's so unselfish.
Yeah.
Right? She makes plays for her teammates, and sometimes people don't feel like she shoots enough, but when you watch her play, you're like, she is really, really good. She kind of reminds me like this reluctant superstar. And when your best player is kind of a microcosm of your coach, that's kind of cool, because I think that's a lot how Coach Williams is. She's extremely competitive. She's big fundamentals. She just wants to lace them up and see where we're at. They got the big win against Maryland. I think that's the first one they've gotten over Maryland here
at home.
Yeah. Right? So it's but that's who Coach Williams is. But when you listen to her, you don't always kind of get that because
she's so nice.
Right.
Yeah.
She's extremely good-natured.
Yeah, a little bit like Coach Hoiberg. They're kind of the same where they're so kind and friendly, but do not mistake that for
weakness,
not being a killer
right?
competitor.
Uber competitive,
Yeah.
right? She was my neighbor for 3 years. She is ultra competitive, and so I kind of like their chemistry too, and this is a big one, and the fans are going to come out and support that. That's the beautiful thing about Nebraska fans, right? It's like you ask them, you say, hey, we need you. And they show up. That's the cool thing about the state of Nebraska.
Fun fact for you guys, if you didn't know, Amy Williams is one of your favorite coaches, right, here on campus?
100%.
Yeah. Okay.
100%.
So Huskers.com/tickets. We're going to be talking about it a lot, but get those tickets and pack PBA. Indiana is a great team. They're fun to watch. It should be a great matchup. I think it'll be a really great matchup between these two teams and should be hopefully a lot of scoring, too. All right, last thing I got for you.
What do we got?
Well, what would you think I was going to ask you about?
Are we going back to
football? National championship game.
Okay.
Break down that matchup for us. Who you got? What do you like about the matchup? You like the two teams that are in it.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I also love it for the Big Ten too, because it's a preview of 2024, right? We got both Washington and then the mainstay of Michigan. So I think, like, on the surface, Washington's a much better team than I think they've been given credit for nationally. People knock them because they play close games and they win a lot of one-score games, but I'm the worst person to kind of buy into that narrative because my 1994 team was a lot the same way. A lot of ugly wins. You know, we trailed at the half against Wyoming, and it wasn't always aesthetically pleasing, but there's something to being battle-tested.
Right.
They've got a quarterback with a ton of starts in Penix Jr., He's had some highs and had some lows, so he hasn't always been the golden boy, which I like, right? I think sometimes you have to come out of the back end of something before I can trust in you. If it's always been rainbows and butterflies, it's a tough team. Now, there are a couple things that bug me about Washington. 54th in scoring defense and 97th in total defense. If they were win a national championship, that would by far and away be the lowest of any team. I believe that's one in those two statistical categories. I think LSU is the only other one since the playoff age, and they were 31 and 33 respectively.
It's not a problem if you can outscore people, though.
So here's the thing. If Michigan has been, you know this, I've said that I thought that they were the best team in the Big Ten all year. I thought they were one of the top two best teams in the country. I thought them and Georgia were the two best teams in the country all year. So for Washington, Michigan plays to your strengths in one regard. They play in a way where they're probably not going to blow you out. They run the football. They're very methodical and kind of take their shot plays. That plays into Washington's strengths because they like one-score games. Now, where it's not good for Washington versus Michigan is their ability to run the football over time. Washington's going to have to hang in there and make some plays. Now, I think it's going to be a close game. It will be, I don't think it's going to be very high scoring either. I could see the winning score being around 28. So I guess maybe that's high scoring. I always think college high scoring, you're in the 30s.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody gets to the 30s, but Michigan's going to have to play a little bit different defensively. I don't think they'll be able to bring those pressure packages and get after the own line like they did Bama, right? They whipped Bama up front with their D-line, but we talk like that's Michigan's strength. They play 7 guys, and they're super deep. And but I think they'll have to be careful with those blitz packages because Washington is probably the only team in the country that boasts 3 number 1 wide receivers. Penix Jr. is as good a talent as there is in the country, and that includes Caleb Williams and May, in my opinion. But I just don't know if they can hang in there in the long haul. It's going to be, I think it's a 3-point game either way. I really do.
So who you got?
I'm going to take Washington in an upset.
Wow.
I am. I'm going to take Washington. I think battle test, I do worry about them defensively. I do. But the good thing, the thing that offsets that is Michigan plays it close to the vest. So I'm hoping that's the counterbalance to Washington being a little soft. Not soft, because I do think they're physical, vulnerable defensively. And I worry about Washington's depth at running back. Are they going to be healthy? That's the thing. But I'm going to take Washington in an upset.
Spoiler alert, Greg and I both picked Washington too. So
No way.
yeah.
Let's go.
We did.
All for one for all.
But yeah, it should be fun, and hopefully a good game is all we're asking for. We'll appreciate your time, Damon Benning, and again, you'll be back here in a couple weeks joining us for the full 2 hours to help me out when Greg is out. So again, Damon Benning here with us on the Huskers Radio Network. Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands and 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com.
Start your next journey with Woodhouse. Our commitment extends beyond just selling cars. We offer an unparalleled car buying experience that allows you to shop and buy all online. Explore an array of new brands, makes, and models, as well as our large selection of pre-owned vehicles. And it's easy to get started today with our streamlined purchasing process online, granting you the freedom to secure your next vehicle anytime, anywhere. Discover a better way to buy with Woodhouse.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
At your Ford dealer, making sure your Ford vehicle is running in tip-top shape is a big deal, and it just got a little bigger. Starting with the Works package. It includes a synthetic blend oil change, tire rotation, vehicle checkup, and more. Only your Ford dealer has factory-trained technicians and Ford parts, which makes it the best place to keep your vehicle or your next new Ford running at its best. Call to schedule service now or schedule with the Ford Pass app. They'll get you in and back on your way fast. Get the Works package and get ready to go.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with JTech Solar. JTech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. JTech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Other irrigation companies are finally discovering what T&L Irrigation has known for decades. Continuous movement is the best way to irrigate. While they'll have you pay for complicated upgrades to get steady, even water application with their high-voltage electric systems, all T&L Irrigation pivots and linears are propelled safely and smoothly by powerful hydrostatic drive. Continuous movement isn't new, it's the T&L standard. Don't get talked into a reinvented wheel. Pick the proven original. Call your T&L Irrigation dealer today or visit TLIRR.com. T&L, like no other.
And welcome back. Final segment here of Sports Nightly on this Friday night edition. I'm Jessica Coody. Save the best segment for last. Before we get to that, just a couple of things. Camden had talked about Nebraska women's gymnastics opening up their season tonight at Iowa State, heading into the final rotation. The Huskers have taken the leads. They had a great rotation on floor, so they are up now on Iowa State, looking to close it out now as they are on the beam. And a top 10 battle in the Big Ten. Purdue out to a 14-4 lead to start things against Illinois. So again, Purdue will be the next home team that we'll see inside Pinnacle Bank Arena to face Fred Hoiberg's Huskers on Tuesday, right? Tuesday or Wednesday? My days are also off.
My days are off as well.
Next week.
It's Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Thanks, Camden. But yeah, 14-4. Purdue up on Illinois right now. Okay, let's get to it. We normally do this on Thursday nights, but we've had a weird schedule this week and had a short show last night, so I told him let's do it tonight. Cole's joke of the week. When's the last time you had a joke?
It's been a few weeks. We've had a lot of games. a lot of coaches shows. Tonight's joke is related to sports.
Okay.
We've got Well, the Summer Olympics are coming up here, summer 2024.
Yeah.
One of my favorite sports, swimming.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a great one to watch. Our swimming team's currently in action. But, Jessica, I can't imagine winning like the 100-meter butterfly because I wouldn't. What would you even do with an insect that big?
Nice.
It's a huge butterfly.
Yes. I like it.
I
like it. That's a big butterfly. All right, let us know what you think. Weigh in on the chat and on our text line 402-413-2400. Cole's joke of the week. It's got to be sponsored sometime soon, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it's even come up in meetings to get that sponsored.
Surely. I mean, it is taking the world by storm. Hey, I've got a joke for you tonight, okay?
Uh-huh.
Said a friend named Jacob that shared this with me. I thought it was hilarious. What do you call a bear that's stuck out in the rain?
What do you call a bear that's stuck out in the rain? I don't know.
A drizzly bear. How to get in on the action while Greg was out.
Along the same line, what do you call a bear with no teeth?
A gummy bear.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Tim in Minnesota gave you a 7.
We'll take it.
Let's see here. Justin said, ha, 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 8.5 out of 10. 4 hours, Lincoln, 5. Sorry, Cole. Crypto, I rank it a 7 for delivery and 9 for the funny scale. Let's see, not the best joke, but a great delivery, 6. Cole's joke, I rank it a 7 for delivery, 9 for funny scale. 6.84, that's pretty precise. That got a chuckle, I'll give it a 6. That's from Dryce, and the 6.84 is from Shane.
So it was the delivery this time that was lackluster.
Cole's joke deserves a cookie. An oatmeal raisin cookie, better joke, would have gotten him a chocolate chip cookie, GBR. Don't start with the cookie debate. Don't start. I mean, again, it's kind of like, you want to average like a 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of, I think that's about what you're right there, right?
Yeah, it's passing.
They gave me a 10 and an 8.88. Crypto gave me a 10, and Shane gave me an 8.88. So, Carla, we love when Carla texts in. Cole, your delivery is really good. Give you an 8. So, there you go. All right.
Perfect.
Got back in the action, and I believe you'll be back again next week with another joke, right?
I think I don't think we have a coach's show. I think there's time allowed for it.
All right. We'll look forward to that next week. All right. Busy weekend here in Lincoln. A lot going on. Starting tomorrow, we've got a wrestling duel. We talked a lot about the polar bear and might see him at heavyweight as the number 7th ranked Husker wrestling team takes on number 25 UNI and then Wyoming. And there's could be lots of ranked matchups that you'll see in these bouts. Could be 4 against Wyoming. Could be 7 in the matchup against UNI. So that should be fun, and you can watch that on Big Ten Plus. But that's going to be intriguing. Can't wait to see if the polar bear gets out on the mat tomorrow. And then Nebraska men's basketball, 1:15 at number 21 Wisconsin. We'll have the pregame show for you right here with Kent and Jake starting at 12:15. And one more plug while we can. Pack PBA on Sunday, 1 o'clock against Indiana for Nebraska women's basketball. Huskers.com/tickets honoring Jordan Hooper and a big matchup against Indiana. But lots going on, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys hopefully there. And we will have all of the action for you right here on the Huskers Radio Network. Thanks to Camden. Thanks to Cole. Thanks to all of you. And we'll be back here on Monday for Sports Nightly. Have a great weekend.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
At your Ford dealer, making sure your Ford vehicle is running in tip-top shape is a big deal, and it just got a little bigger. Starting with the Works package. It includes a synthetic blend oil change, tire rotation, vehicle checkup, and more. Only your Ford dealer has factory-trained technicians and Ford parts, which makes it the best place to keep your vehicle or your next new Ford running at its best. Call to schedule service now or schedule with the Ford Pass app. They'll get you in and back on your way fast. Get the Works package and get ready to go.
There's no community like a Cenex community. And that's why every Cenex store is so proud to serve theirs by supporting local athletic teams, promoting the arts, and making sure each store is a place its neighbors can find what they need, catch up with their friends, and stay connected. It's also why we give back, helping to make the wonderful places we call home the best they can be. Your local local Cenex doesn't just work in your town, it lives there. The store next door, powered locally at Cenex.
Woodhouse has got you covered for your next car, truck, or SUV. We are committed to making the car buying and owning experience better, thanks to our knowledgeable sales staff and factory certified technicians. You can discover our large inventory of new and pre-owned vehicles anytime at woodhouse.com, where we have made buying a car easier than ever. Whether you need a family hauling SUV, a car to take you around town, or a hard-working truck, Woodhouse has something for everyone.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active